Hey guys, welcome to the reaction for the Real Housewives of New York, the reboots. These are our new girls. We gave them a chance, so let's get into this reunion. So, we open up this reunion with drama already. Apparently, Uba woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Honey, she was sending angry text messages to the ladies, particularly for Karen, who was Miss Aaron, and I think rightfully so, because I'm pretty sure after watching the whole season and what everyone had to say in their confessionals, there's some things that need to be addressed. And I'm excited for this because yes, these girls need to be leveled. There's some ladies who are out here being confessional gangsters when in real life, that's not even it. So let's get into this reunion. So we have the ladies, they're ready, they're glam. I am excited to see their sense of fashion. Of course, we had our standout, Jenna Lyons, who showed up in some jeans. We have never seen that before, but Jenna, she doesn't really take credit. She doesn't really stand on being a boss. She gives off, this demeanor of that she's so sweet, so innocent, so fragile, which I love. But girl, stand on your own 2 feet, girl. You did that. So she, of course, went on Watch What Happens Live and corrected Andy, said no. There was a moment in the Housewives history where the ladies, they wore jeans to Vicky Gunvalson's reunion, but that doesn't really count. That doesn't really count. This, of course, will go down in history, and everyone's gonna refer to Jenna Lyons as being the pioneer of jeans. Okay, so that was that moment. So now let's get into this reunion. So pretty much what I take from this whole setup was Aaron and Sai watched themselves this whole season and realized they got some cleaning up to do. Because these two, they seem to be like thick as thieves, mean girls of the season. But we actually get to see the breakdown of this friendship a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be friends moving forward, but honestly, I don't blame one or the other, because they first didn't like each other, then they liked each other, and then they ganged up on Jessel for this rest of the season. So let's dissect this whole situation. So of course, off the rip, Aaron had to address the whole situation and not having food. Of course, they want to make this a whole moment once again. Aaron, what was the reason why you didn't have food for Sai at, when they went out to have like a social mixer? That was the thing. But what really started off this whole conversation was about her vow renewal party. Her invite said from 7 to 9. Okay, so we get a little bit more details. It was from 7 to 9, and all she had was hors d'oeuvres. It was pretty much a cocktail hour from 7 to 9. Now, honestly, you invite anybody out somewhere between 7 to 9, it is assumed that you will be covering dinner. Those are dinner hours, unless we're out in Europe and we're having dinner after 10, late at this occasion. Maybe she's on that type of vibe if we want to give her some sort of excuse. But honey, here 7 to 9, and it's a vow renewal, so time and place and occasion, you have to serve food. You have to serve at least a hearty meal. Now, she said she spent money on the meals, but I don't know. I didn't see much, extravaganza. So everyone, of course, poked fun about the invite to the vow renewal, that it had a lot of sponsors on it. And Erin, she took note of it, and this whole reunion, she was taking note and saying her apologies, or that was a misstep. She was taking back some of the things she has done. And I'm like, Miss Ma'am, I thought you direct. If you direct, you stand by what you do. So, of course, Andy had to address the elephant in the room. Andy asked Aaron if you think you're direct or you're more on the lines of rude. And I was trying to examine how she's going to answer this question. But with Aaron, she kind of moves a little bit funny. She says that she understands that it can border on the grounds of being rude. And I'm like, interesting. I feel like we're getting such a PR response so she can kind of rehab her image after this season, because I'm kind of left feeling that I don't really want to see Erin next season. She's too much of a shit stirrer, as Uba would say. But she did catch on her ways into how she did Jenna Lyons wrong. And I felt like the reason why Erin was owning up to the moment of telling on Jenna and saying how Jenna didn't want to fly with them because she doesn't fly coach, I feel like the reason that we got this kind of apology was really because, you know, after watching the whole season and seeing us, the viewers, comment on the season, she realized that, you know, Jenna was this season's fan favorite aside from Jessel. So she's like, ooh, I cannot go against the queen, so I have to make this up so I can, you know, look good and make face for the people. So I'm like, girl, I see you. We see each other. So she gave an apology, and, you know, I was happy to see Jenna kind of check her a little bit. Jenna, she's like, you know, we had a conversation about this once this aired, because obviously when you see the scenes, honey, Erin does not look good. She looks like the mean girl, okay? She looks like the mean girl. So I was glad to see that Jenna at least spoke some truth about the situation on her end and what happened after the cameras, behind the scenes, because Erin thought she could really slide by with this cute little apology and call it a day, but we are not over it. So guys, of course, Erin also had a little situation with Sai. Remember when we opened up the season, it was a whole drama of how everyone has to make sure Sai is fed, which was fun, you know, banter in the beginning, but to drag it out all the way to the reunion, we're still here, I guess. Let's talk about it though. So of course, when we first started this season, we're loving Sai. I felt like I was loving Sai. Sai had so much potential. I was super excited to get to know her and see her character development on this franchise. However, that has since changed because she has just been so miserable. It's just that whole, I feel like she's like a downer. I feel like, okay, it was fun and cute to poke fun that she didn't have food, but to make that an ongoing thing, it's like, girl, you could always pack a snack bar in your purse just in case for these type of moments. So of course, Sai had to, you know, comment on her situation with Jessel, but interesting enough, she is flipping on Erin and calling Erin a liar. Now, I didn't see this coming, but apparently, you know, once, you know, the season airs, you see what everyone comments in their confessionals. You see them go to other podcasts, other shows to talk about the show. You know, of course, the ladies have a few things to say about their castmates. So, of course, Sai heard what Erin had to say about her, and she feels that Erin lied about the whole situation, making it seem that, you know, Sai is unbearable and rude and made the situation worse than what it was. But honestly, how far from the truth was Erin from that situation, that moment? I can see where she kind of stretched it a little bit, that was a little bit offensive or off-putting to Sai, because those were not her words verbatim, but it was the gist. So if we got the gist, we got the gist. It still was not the look, not the move, okay? So anywho, that did not help rehab Sai's image. I did not really enjoy that whole moment, but of course, you know, Sai has a lot more things to apologize for. Of course, we're gonna have to get into her spilling the beans on Uba's new man that she still is with, but it is not working. I'm telling you, this whole episode of this part one of the reunion was not helping these ladies out. Their image was not recovered, revamped. Now, moving on to Jessel. Jessel had a few things to address. Jessel has become my favorite from this season's franchise, this season. And she grew on me, and I like that she was able to defend a couple of things, because these girls were coming for her for no reason, as if she was an easy target. But honey, that English accent had them full, okay? Mary had a little lamb, but Peter Potter pick up pepper, not this one. So anywho, Jessel, she checks Erin, she checks Sai, pretty much with them insinuating that, you know, her husband is having an affair out in Vietnam, that, you know, that she lies. She was like, for what? And of course the girls want to act like they're in denial, but, you know, she corrects them. She's like, did you not see the season? Like, were you not watching the season? And I'm like, I'm loving this moment for Jessel. This was her moment and she ate that. Now, we had a moment with Uba where she did get emotional, because they had a moment where they had to explain how they felt about this season. You know, this is their first season with the cameras and everything, and Uba was very grateful to have this as a moment because she's a model, and, you know, after the photo is done, it's just off to the next gig. But with this kind of platform, she's able to have people really get to know her and invest into her. And even though she felt like she didn't touch many people, which that's untrue, she touched many people, she was happy to receive emails of people saying that with her story about her mother, that it allowed other people to kind of follow up with people that they cared about, that they were not speaking to. So she was appreciative of that. But the girls, they were being girls, and they confirmed with her that no, it was thousands of people who were very grateful for your moment, for your story, for sharing that. And I want to reiterate that message too as well, because of course that message is super strong and very empowering to, you know, correct some family issues, some friendships even, you know. So I did think that was a great moment for Uba, and I like that the girls, even though they had issues with her, you know, even though, you know, there was drama earlier that day, they still rallied for our girl Uba. So I did love that moment. Now, honey, I felt like, Bryn, I need you to speak up more. Bryn had a cute, funny moment throughout this first part of the reunion, but I'm just ready to get more from Bryn. Bryn, I need you to step it up a bit. You know, show out, you know, act up and do what you do best. But I felt like, you know, this whole episode of the reunion was overshadowed by the fact that we were focusing on Sai and Aaron rehab their image so they could come back for the next season, which I feel like is left up to the viewers. Honestly, we are watching, we're observing, we're not stupid, you can't fool us. So we are seeing this whole situation really play out. Now, I look forward to the next part of the reunion. But overall, I want to give these ladies another chance. I felt like this was a good opening of the reboot of the Real Housewives of New York. I can't wait to see more into these ladies' lives, and, you know, of course, I want to know more. I want Uba to open up more. I want, you know, maybe Sai as a show back, but we'll see. So guys, that was the recap of reunion part 1 of the Real Housewives of New York. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comments down below. And if you made it this far, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I do reactions like this all the time for the Housewives, for the Bachelor and Bachelorette, and for all the other, you know, interesting shows. And if you have some recommendations, leave them down in the comments down below. So as always, share as much kindness as possible. Bye, guys.